Oh man, the highly anticipated Cave Mater is finally here from Mattel. Guys, it's been a long time in the making for this one. Let's just run through the timeline real quick to put it into perspective. In like October of 2022, Tomica did their versions of Cave McQueen and Cave Mater, and they did them together even though they were released separately in single boxes. In about March of 2023, the Disney Store put out a 2-pack of Cave Mater and Cave McQueen themselves. Not to mention McDonald's even did a version of Cave Mater in their Happy Meal selection. But here we are, about 1 year after Cave McQueen came out from Mattel, we have Cave Mater. And we'll take it, like, I'm not going to complain, I'm going to shut up and just be happy about it, but Mattel wouldn't have this made a great 2-pack, or at least a couple singles released relatively close to each other, like you did with Road Rumbler, McQueen, and Mater last year? Oh, whatever. It's all water under the bridge now that we finally got this guy. I'm super pumped about him. He looks great. Came out of 2024 Singles Case D, which I just unboxed. Link in the description below. And Card Session Pop-Up, definitely check it out because it's got some great stuff. We already reviewed Lightning McQueen Deputy Hazard with Slime. We will be reviewing the Tractor Ghost here very shortly. I went from deciding to almost do this one first to deciding to do Cave or McQueen with the Slime first, just because of how people were kind of reacting to all of them. It seems like Tractor Ghost may be the least liked of the three. I mean, they're all great in their own ways, so it's not like that one's disliked, but man, this was a really good case, and I hope it continues. We also have Ponchy Wipeout in this case, so check out that unboxing if you missed it. But yeah, let's just check it out. We have the whole Cave squad here, the whole dinosaur squad that we will be comparing him to as we open him up. But yeah, the artwork looks phenomenal. It's the artwork they've been using. Wow, that's really zoomed in on all the like Cave Mater releases, whether it be the Tomica version, whether it be the Disney Store version, and the Roll Dino. What was it called? The Chomp and Roll Dino. So yeah, they've used this art before, but it's nice to finally see it in all of its glory, where you could really take a look at the vines that Mater's using for his towing cables and the texture that he has and kind of the grumpy Flintstone-esque expression. New for 2024. Appreciate that if we didn't know already. But yeah, it's weird seeing these Cars on the Road releases on the Red Rider's background. I'm going to keep saying it because it feels very weird. On the back, we got same old here. Nothing that reflects what's currently out right now, which is kind of disappointing, at least in case D. And that's always been an issue. But Mattel did a good job in 2023 of making the card backs reflect what's in the case of the car you're holding. None of these really are in the case. Actually, I don't think yet any of them are in case D. So it just doesn't make sense because you want them to reflect what's currently in stores if you're assuming the person's holding this car. You know what I mean? But you have Rodette Marker, Randy, Cryptobuster Mater, Matto, Mallory, Carhut, and Garrison Marshall. Matto, Randy, Cryptobuster Mater are great releases to bring back into 2024. Mallory and Garrison, slightly questionable, but yeah, still a good selection. Obviously, Rodette is a brand new release altogether. Now, it's going to pain me, guys, to open this car up because he's on a great card, but hopefully I can find another one on a decent card going forward. This case has not hit the US in any way yet. It has hit Australia, though. And, of course, GetMeCollecitlbes, who I got the case from, has them. So definitely email him. Check out the link in the description below if you want some of these yourself. They are technically scheduled for February 1st, but we'll see how that actually pans out if they hit Target or Walmart or whatever it may be in the US. First off, it has to be noted how heavy this guy is. The regular Mater, as he is quite hefty for a Disney car single. You know, most Disney car singles probably weigh a little less than your average McQueen, to be honest, because you have cars like Pitstoposaurus in there who bring the average weight down. But these are the heavy hitters who bring that average up. All the Dino characters, honestly, a Quadratorcosar. The West Phalampus was a hefty guy as well. I don't know what makes this one a little bit heavier than the regular Mater. Maybe it's the added like forehead here or whatever it may be, a little thicker metal, who knows. But he is definitely worth the $372 you pay at Walmart in the US and probably the $499 you pay at Target. Still absolutely mind-boggling that those stores have such a price discrepancy. I don't know how Target honestly can get by with it, but hey, when they get in the full cases and Walmart doesn't, I guess that's how you do it. But there he is in the episode Dino Park, Cars on the Road, the very first episode. Looking good. He always looks pretty happy or kind of scared, frightened. He never looks kind of grumpy like on the diecast here, which is a little strange for sure, but I'll take it. It's actually just a weird vibe that they went with the grumpy expressions for McQueen and Mater, but that might have to be a little bit more attributed to the artwork that Pixar sent them. Like we see on the Cave Mater art, we see on the Cave McQueen art, they're looking grumpy. Mattel didn't create those artworks, but they are, meant to emulate them. So that's, I guess, why, we have the way they look on the diecast. I don't know. It's just a little strange that they went the grumpy route, but I don't know. I don't really mind. Kind of makes them seem more like cavemen. But yeah, guys, let's get right into it. Yeah, I mean, we already went over the expression, and it's really good. Even though he's looking straight ahead, I don't think it's a big deal. He doesn't look robotic to me at all. It's a really good expression, and it's probably better than the Disney Store one, which we'll compare him to in a bit. The Tomica one is actually quite similar. He has a matte finish throughout, and it's like a very flat, kind of rough texture. Like, you could run your hand across it and you could feel a little graininess, and it's the good kind of graininess, not like the kind that will blur a decal, but it's the kind that makes the texture a little rougher than usual. His engine here is just like a circular stone. It's actually quite funny because that is supposed to be the engine, but it is clearly not. It is just a stone. But yeah, he has this log attached to his front edge here to represent a bumper with some vines, and that is a plastic piece that's kind of attached to the base here, which we'll get to in a moment. Of course, his tires or wheels or whatever you want to call these are also meant to be rocks caved out of a mountain with spiky hubcaps there. Really cool. Just so creative on Disney and Pixar's part for coming up with these designs. Like, you kind of really have to think outside the box when you get to this stuff. The roof here has these more squared off sirens. Kind of almost look like horns, but yeah, I don't think they're meant to be horns. I'm honestly not really sure what those are meant to emulate, if anything at all, but they are very boxy compared to Mater's usual sirens. Yeah, nice little forehead action there that overhangs the main body. This part might be plastic because you could see the crack there. There's two separate pieces going on here. Let's see. I can't tell. I actually just touched my nose with it. If you guys don't know, metal is colder to the touch than plastic would be. And if you touch it to your nose, which is quite sensitive and pretty neutral in terms of temperature, you are pretty able to figure out if something's metal or not. Ray Screws actually, I think, taught me that way back in the day from watching his videos. What I definitely know is plastic is the towing cables back here that are made out of logs and vines. I have to say the cables themselves are really cool. Like this right here is textured very nice. You can feel the coil of it all. Just looks pleasing, because everything's kind of multicolored. The brown in the logs, the green in the vines, and the stone for the big hook here. It's so cool. Really a big fan of this guy. Now, Cave McQueen did not have any holes on the base in order for, Mater to tow him, which is a little disappointing. It would have had some cool foresight if they made a hole big enough for this big hook on Cave Mater, but no big deal, honestly. Another thing I want to mention is the erosion and oxidation that you see around his corners here that reveal, it's like he's copper almost, or he was copper. Actually, no, this would be, yeah, copper turns this turquoise teal color as it oxidizes and is weathered down, but it kind of is a callback to brand new Mater, as his main color is teal, or at least when Mater was new before he started rusting, he was teal. So it's kind of like that, even though it's almost more of a natural occurrence. But yeah, it looks really cool and provides a nice contrast for sure. A big fan of the way that they just did the finish on him overall. On the base here, made in Thailand, there's the product code HTX83. The date stamp is S44A, so the 44th week of 2023 at the A factory. One of the probably last cars to be made in 2023. I think maybe when Case E comes out, they'll have codes within T. It'll probably be like T01 or something like that. And it's actually kind of nice. His base is green. It's kind of a unique color for a base. You don't really see that all too often. But yeah, I really vibe with this guy. He looks fantastic. And yeah, let's do a comparison with Cave and McQueen right here. They both have similar textures and finishes with the, kind of rough, matte, flat finishes. I think I prefer Cave Mater, but it's hard to compare these two. Like, they really should not be compared. They should be compared to the other brands, versions of them collectively, and not like this. Like, we'll see how these shape up to the Disney Store and Tomica versions is what I'm saying. We won't be comparing them to the McDonald's Happy Meal versions, though. I am sorry for those out there who wanted that. Yeah, nice spoiler on McQueen, by the way, with the vines. So similar, I like how they kind of pulled from the same lore. You got the vines on McQueen and Mater, but that is, of course, Disney and Pixar's doing and not Mattel's. The only thing Mattel ever really designed were those NASCAR releases, and I guess maybe the ice racers as well a little bit, but then again with those, like, there's artwork for those, so I don't even know. It's kind of interesting to think what Mattel has done, like, completely on their own. The NASCAR series definitely has been, and that's probably why they don't look super great in terms of modernizing the decals. Guys, I am watching, literally, while I'm reviewing this, I'm trying to be productive and also, like, watch stuff at the same time, which is a bad idea, but, like, I have to watch the Bills-Chiefs divisional round playoff game right now. I mean, this is intense. I want the Bills to win so badly. All right, enough about football. Here is Cave Mater with a regular Mater. Man, the Chiefs just gave up like a touchdown on 3rd and goal from like the 20. It looked like that was bad. But good for the Bills. I love to see it. Yeah, good stuff. They both roll well. I also love kind of the battering, like the squared off edges of his, what really would be the headlights instead of the symmetrical circles that are on regular Mater. Yeah, the Cave Mater, he's a little hard to focus on because his forehead casts a shadow over his eyes. But all right, guys, it's time to compare him to the other versions of Cave Mater, starting with the Tomica one here, which is kind of like a metallic brown and doesn't have a matte finish. It is a shinier finish for sure. Like we talked about, the expression's very similar. Overall, the paint job on him is nowhere near as good on the Mattel version. I mean, they went with blotches of that turquoise instead of kind of baking it in naturally. They don't have any detailing on the wheels whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, Tomica, they did a fine job and all that, but just certainly are not up to snuff like Mattel is. And maybe it's because they're smaller, but they're not that much smaller. They could have done a better job. You could see here in the towing cables, they didn't put a gap in between the two shafts. As you can see, there's a gap right there. And that's just because, yeah, they went for a cheaper mold on there. Didn't want to be as intricate, but they do have the vines kind of up here in the corners, which the Mattel version does not have. That's interesting. So yeah, I mean, the Tomica version is good for what it is, but far less detailed and definitely inferior, in my opinion, to the Mattel version. What about the Disney Store version? Well, the expression is so weird on this one. It's like his eyes are floating into his brain. Like, oh my God, so weird. Like, why did they do that? It's like, maybe they're trying to make it seem like he's looking up at a giant dinosaur. I think that's what they were going for. I mean, McQueen's eyes are similar to that, but yeah, it's just weird because a lot of angles, like, you can't even see his eyes. It's just white space. And same thing as with the Tomica version. They just went with the splotchiness of the turquoise. No detailing on the wheels really at all. A little bit of a brown smear. I think they did the towing cables pretty well with the vines and all that, but man, the Mattel version just really knocks out of the park. I mean, they differentiate between the tow hook and the wooden logs for the towing contraption, whereas here they made the hook the exact same thing as the logs, as if it's wooden, but it's supposed to be stone. They also connected his hook to the body there, as you can see, which is just weird. Shouldn't be like that. But yeah, I mean, Mattel did a great job with every aspect on Cave Mater, you know, down to the wheels, of course, being detailed and the expression. See, this is where Tomica, no, let me retrace. This is where Thailand can really exceed and excel as a country of production, because on a car like Cave Mater or West Philanthropist or Quadritorquisar here, they don't have any decals. So they don't get to be exploited. There's nothing that comes into play where they can be, their weakness can be shown. So this is where it's like, wow. I mean, Tomica is just blowing it out. Why do I keep saying that? Thailand is blowing it out of the park when they don't have to use any decals. So very impressive, guys. Man, I'm really blowing a lot of smoke up this guy's butt. What the hell? But he is awesome. This is an A+ release, in my opinion. This is an S+ tier release. I think it's better than Cave McQueen just because there was more to do with the towing contraption and all that. So really a big fan of it. And yeah, I mean, lastly, I'll show you guys all the pairs of these guys. Yeah, I mean, Tomica went about a little weird, putting scales on Cave McQueen and making it like a dark red, kind of metallic Cave McQueen and Cave Mater, honestly. Of course, the Disney store's got the weird expressions going on and just overall not as detailed. They are nice, though, and at least they released them in a 2-pack, which makes sense. Of course, Mattel, we know what they did. Tomica released them in the same wave, but as individual boxes. And yeah, guys, what is your favorite Cars on the Road version of Mater? This is definitely my favorite. I mean, Road Rumbler Mater is pretty cool and all that, but he doesn't live up to Cave Mater in my opinion. And neither does Cryptobuster Mater, but Cryptobuster Mater made my top 10, believe it or not, of 2023. I think the expression's really good and all of his added doodads and the mud tires are great. So based on that logic, Cave Mater should make my top 10 of 2024. I don't see why he wouldn't. I really think he's the best release they've done so far this year. Yeah, I think he's better than Lightning McQueen Deputy Hazard with Slime. When are they going to do Super Speeder Mater as a diecast, though? It's going to be tough because he would have to be a deluxe in a multi-pack or something like that. Oh, this plastic version's not that bad, though. I'll take it for now. And yeah, guys, chilling out with my West Philanthropist, my Pit Stoposaurus, and my Quadritorquisar. I'm just vibing. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think. Which version of Cave Mater do you prefer? You know what? That's a dumb question. Which of these 5 releases here is your favorite? Cave McQueen, West Philanthropist, Pit Stoposaurus, Cave Mater, Quadritorquisar. That one will stump you guys. That's a tough one for sure. Really appreciate it as per usual. And I'll see you soon for the review of Tractor Ghost. Bye now.